Maina. And these are the stories that are making headlines in the country this morning. And we started off with the Supreme Court bans Ahmed Nasir from appearing before it. Now, the Supreme Court judges have slapped advocate Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi and associates of his law firm with a permanent ban from ever making appearances at the Supreme Court. In a statement, the full 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court said lawyer Ahmed Nasir has relentlessly ridiculed the Supreme Court and its judges, accusing them of corruption and undermining the Supreme Court. But lawyer Ahmed Nasir has dismissed the ban and instead termed it a badge of honor. And staying on matters, judges, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua aborts a plan to petition JSC over Judge Esther Maina. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has rescinded his earlier plans to file a petition before the Judicial Service Commission seeking the removal of High Court Judge Esther Maina from office over claims of corruption. Gachagua says his decision is informed out to President William Ruto to hold dialogue over claims of corruption in the judiciary. Gachagua had accused Justice Esther Maina of seizing his over 200 million shillings, terming it proceeds of corruption without allowing him a chance.
What message is the Deputy President saying? That we have evidence of corruption against a particular judge, but we want to wait and have a side discussion with the judiciary over these issues before we take the action or any relevant action. And for us, that is subversion of the Constitution, and we hope that the Chief Justice will not succumb to this kind of pressure. We thought that he would do the right thing by filing the petition so that we can be able to examine the merits of the allegation that he made against that judge. And if we find that then they merit the removal of the judge, for the judge to be removed.
On matters, Justice CJ Kome's proposed talks face stiff opposition from the Law Society of Kenya. Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome called for dialogue with the executive faces stiff opposition over fears of that such talks would undermine the independence of the judiciary and erode constitutional gains. Law Society of Kenya President Eric Theuri and cautioning CJ Koome that a meeting with the executive arm of government will be a green light for politicians to harass judges and magistrates in the public realm. Here are the full details.
When the CJ is seen with the president, they are discussing matters on administration of justice, that everybody is responsible. It's not a beauty contest. When the CJ is seen with the president, they are discussing matters on administration of justice, that everybody is responsible. It's not a beauty contest. Who serves Kenya better? Is it the executive, the judiciary? We are all in it. So if the judiciary is failing, The economy is failing because disputes are not being resolved. The president gets affected and everybody gets affected.
That is questionable, because the first thing you ask yourself is, what are you going to discuss? Are you going to discuss decisions made by judges and other judicial officers, which is not per se allowed, in such a situation? Are you going to discuss particular cases beyond the confines of a courtroom?
Are they sitting to discuss how to deal with those corrupt judges? Are they saying that there are inadequate mechanisms within our law to deal with those issues? And so we find that there can only be one end to this discussion, an end towards deal making, an end towards subverting the constitution.
And this also notion of the arms of state need to function in harmony. They only function in harmony when they keep to their lanes and do what Kenyans commanded them to do within the constitution. That is the harmony Kenyans want. Not the smile to me, look good, but that's not what Kenyans want. Kenyans want harmony created by each arm of state and its agents doing the work Kenyans mandated them to do through the constitution.
The moment she does that, then the independence of the judiciary would be watered down. The confidence with which we have in the judiciary would be watered down. And I think if she was to succumb to these threats and intimidation and agree to meet the executive, we will begin to examine the conduct of the Chief Justice to actually determine whether she is the right person to hold that office.
And away from that, now to Mackenzie and 94 accomplices charged with terrorism. Now, controversial cleric Paul Ndenge, Mackenzie and 94 other people accused of terrorism and radicalization in Shakahola have denied charges leveled against them by the state. Now, the 95 suspects produced in the Shanzu law courts are facing 5 counts under terrorism and radicalization offenses. Here are the pictures from that area.
Na mwaka 2023 katika eneo la Furunzi, kaunti ndogo ya Malindi, kaunti ya Kilifi, mlipatikana mkimiliki maksudi
And away from that story, now to TSC transfer 17 teachers from St. Gabriel Isongo School, and learning activities have been paralyzed at St. Gabriel Isongo Secondary School after the Teachers Service Commission transferred all the teachers to nearby schools. The transfer of all the 17 government-employed teachers from the school follows an attack on the school principal last week by parents over dismal performance in 2023 KCSE exams. Parents and community leaders led by the area MP have apologized over the incident and pleaded with the Teachers Service Commission to return teachers to the learning institution. And detectives have intensified a probe into Dr. Laban Langat's death, and detectives in Nakuru have interrogated a border rider who was captured on CCTV carrying the late medical intern Laban Langat from the showground roundabout to the Nakuru Referral Hospital past midnight. Hours before Langat was found dead on that fateful night, Langat was seen at an entertainment joint with his friends before he left the club unaccompanied. Here are the details.
Around 11, he stayed there for about an hour with his friends. He looked a bit high, but he just walked out himself.
Na ile harakati alikuwa amelewa, nikaambia wewe fanyaje, tafuta pikipiki sababu hiyo njia kwenda hadi medical huwa ni giza. Sasa nikamwambia tafuta pikipiki sababu ni ngumu upita hapo hivi. Mtu wa kwanza alikuja na pikipiki wakasikizana bei au kusikizana bei vizuri.
Nikiza mrank sasa mtu mwenye anafinya mpesa pin sio mtu ako mlevi, lakini si ati alikuwa mlevi sana, lakini alikuwa mlevi mpaka alianguka. Alivinya alishuka hivi akaanguka na akarudi akaamuka.
And away from that, we come to the end of the news that are making headlines in the country.